Joy News Prime.
News Prime, with some 55 days to the December election here on your election headquarters, the flag bearers of both the NDC and NPP have been campaigning in different constituencies in the Greater Accra region, with President Mahama urging Ghanaians to ignore what he describes as baseless promises by Nana Akufo-Addo to put money in their pockets. PPP flag bearer Papa Kwesi Indum vows to press on with his campaign to contest this year's presidential elections despite his disqualification by the EC. The Electoral Commission has meanwhile discounted reports that has disqualified a number of parliamentary aspirants.
And coming up in business, Bank of Ghana finally introduces initiative to mitigate farmers' constraints in accessing funds for the development of agriculture.
And the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly finally elects a presiding member after 10 failed attempts, often characterized by violence. My name is Israel Lai, and Joy News Prime is also available across Europe on ABN television as well as on DSTV and GoTV. Stay tuned. The Nima Divisional Police Command, in a bid to ensure peaceful conduct of the polls in the 3 key constituencies under its jurisdiction, has been engaging the various parliamentary aspirants. The meeting on Thursday was also attended by parliamentary aspirants from the Klote-Kwoli constituency, part of which falls within the jurisdiction of the Nima Command. Divisional Police Commander ACP Vance Gariba urged the aspirants to desist from engaging so-called macho men during this year's election. Hano Dame has more.
The deployment of well-built figures by parties has become a regular feature of elections in Ghana. But these so-called macho men who act as bodyguards have often been blamed for most of the violence recorded during polls. The Nima Divisional Police Commander is not calling for them to be outlawed, but says they must stay as far away from the process as possible.
The elections for 2016-2017 has a lot of security implications for us, and particularly my jurisdiction. Now, for me, I have noticed in the past that some political parties have used well-built persons to create uncomfortable situation for the security agencies. And I want to emphasize that I wouldn't, in my jurisdiction, entertain such well-built people moving from one location to another to try to create mayhem.
The CPP candidate for the Klote-Kwoli constituency, however, suggested a different approach.
If you are looking for the macho men or whatever it is, they have organizations that really brings them up. So I'll plead with the security agencies to call on the directors of the gyms that anybody who comes from your outfit, that gym will be closed forever. So at least we can have peaceful elections, not only for 2016, but for subsequent elections. 3
other aspirants for the Klote-Kwoli constituency pledged their support for a peaceful election.
One of us is definitely going to be the member of parliament of Klote-Kwoli. And I don't believe if there's trouble and chaos in Klote-Kwoli, you would be able to become a successful member of parliament. So there will be no people if we create issues in our constituency. So we pledge to bring peace.
If there's no peace, none of this is going to mean anything anyway, and therefore I'd like to take the opportunity to also pledge my complete commitment towards a peaceful electoral process and a campaign, and on the day of election and post-election as well.
All we are looking forward to is what the will of the majority of the people. So I urge everybody in our constituency to also commit themselves to a very peaceful process. Having said that, I also hope that the managers of the elections, the Electoral Commission, will also be very fair and even-handed so that it will not bring out any perceptions of unfairness.
The District Electoral Officer for Ayawaso, Nantogma Abdul Rashid, advised aspirants on the role of polling agents.
The agents
are there to represent the interests of the candidates who brought them there. And so one issue, they should be given the opportunity to observe what is going on there. But you see, sometimes we allow them to stand by our officers and they want to go beyond the rule of observing into instructing the officers on as to what to do. And when you do that for a while, the officer sometimes would get agitated, we will get annoyed with you and ask that, please, just move away from me. That's where they go to place them distances that they can't even see what is going on.
For Joy News, my name is Hannah Odami.
Now, President John Mahama has called on Ghanaians to ignore promises he terms as baseless by the opposition New Patriotic Party. The president on campaign stumps here in Accra urged the electorate not to fall for Nana Akufo-Addo's promise of putting monies in their pockets and rather embrace the opportunities the NDC is willing to create when its government is retained. President Mahama has, this was earlier, we're going to be bringing you that tape of the president saying what he had to say about Nana Akufo-Addo. But right now, we're going onto the phone lines now to speak with Joseph Akablé, who is with the president, who is still out there campaigning, and he's going to be joining us. Good evening to you, Joseph.
Good evening, Israel.
All right, so where's the president right now?
As it stands, we are heading towards the University of Ghana, Legon, where the president will be addressing students. And the message this evening for the students has to do with the NDC plan of creating jobs for the students. And so that is where we are heading to now.
All right, but where has he been to today?
Well, so we started from the African market. We moved to Maramuka market and then to Kotobabi. Now, what the president is doing is these points where he moves outdoor the party's parliamentary candidates, after which all the candidates that are outdoor at the various spots, they all meet at a major rally. So if you pick the African market where we went to first, he took advantage of the opportunity to outdoor. You see Judge Akwaya was North constituency. You also outdoor William Afum Ani Eje. He's the party's parliamentary candidate for Ayawaso Central constituency. Then when we got to Kotobabi, the Ayawaso West Bogon constituency candidate, I'm talking about the Lali Brempon, also joined, and all three joined, and where he addressed a mammoth rally at Kotobabi. Now, for the markets that we've been to, the message to them has been simple. The president says that a good number of times we have markets getting bent down and traders losing their wealth as a result of such fire outbreaks. And he said it's because the markets are not in good shape. So the promise to them is that he's going to rebuild all the major markets across the country. And he says they've already started with the Kotukaba market, they've done same with the KJT market, and they'll be doing same in other markets across the country. But in terms of the campaign platform, when he mounted at Kotobabi, the message to them is very simple. He says the opposition party more often than not talk about the fact that he has John Dramani Mahama is not putting money in their pocket. He says governments don't do that. Governments create opportunities. And by creating opportunities through infrastructural development, through exceptional just like he did with Commander. And once he does that, he directly creates jobs for people, and it's up to them to take advantage of these opportunities and ignore the point being made by the opposition that they will put money into the opportunity once they put money.
All right, thank you very much, Joseph Akablé. And let's listen to what the president has had to say.
NDC. Thank you. Now go there. Linda Nisi. Apenami. Yedi Ghana ye nyina ye man. Na Ghana empuntuo ena ye nyina ye hia. Enti abato a ebe yede asumdwe ene akomapa ene odo ene beto saba no. Ye man ye ba ko pe. Ehia se basa bia beba. Ehia se all die be die bia beba. the better as Mujemo. Na Trade and Ponyanko and Kasa Ayi, yourself, Pata, Sir, Odi, or my kind, no, you know, mine. If you're 9 and every say you're too about mouth now, by your man, would you feel 9? If you're 9, you're gonna hire to about and see, wouldn't feel 9 now. I was saying, Gina, near to a bunny biome. Now, you didn't feel 9 I saw so. Now acquire and fear or train your constitution more. I say, oh, my penny, sir, we are a fear or chair, and you want to be Genebium. Now, what could you want homie? Now, will be for Abeji. And see, and fear 9 now, your mom said, Mindy or my penny, no, I saw. And see, I was said, Minanti Ghana for soon, na mekai omo se ye betua babium enti mini friend John Dramani Mahama ezu na makai omo ebiom se omo se mpie and Twabano, send a year in 2012. Send a beya, a Jumapana Yasha Seno, Yabetwaso near ye. Yenim said, Abraboka Masem said, Rome was not built in a day. Want to mean fat that crow and chichiri crow. Enti, Sawiyabia, na. You didn't say nine count not near what shall say no. I will ye no. Now, what the sign say nine no every year.
Well, flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Duranko Akufo-Addo, says he will continue to beg Ghanaians to vote for him in the upcoming election. Speaking during his tour of the Enya Soutum constituency in the Greater Accra region, the NPP flag bearer mentioned that the country needs a leader who can create more jobs and transform the economy.
People come to speak to you. They talk about the future because you are the future. But I'm going to say something a little bit different. Every year since John Dramani Mahama became president, our economy has shrunk. Every year shrunk. And this year we're going to have the slowest rate of growth of our economy for 22 years. What it means is that your ability to walk out of here and get a job is being compromised right now. What I'm trying to leave with you is that 4 more years of John Dramani Mahama will mean that you have no future to look up to. So the responsibility for you is not about tomorrow, it's about today. That together, all of us will make sure that the threat to our future, which Mahama represents, we will remove that threat in December once and for all.
Watching Joy News Prime, we have more coming for you as far as the elections is concerned. PPP flag bearer Papa Kwesi Indom is vying to press on with his campaign to contest this year's presidential elections despite his disqualification by the EC. He's accusing the EC of selective application of their laws. We'll be back in a bit with all that and more. Stay tuned. Yes, you're watching Joy News Prime, Joy News Prime here on Joy News on Multi TV, your election headquarters, and it's 54 days to the election, December election, and stay tuned to us as we bring you everything election related. Now, the Progressive People's Party is accusing the Electoral Commission of selective application of the laws governing its operations, on which basis its flag bearer was disqualified from contesting this year's election. The party's flag bearer, Dr. Papakwesi Indung, was amongst 12 aspirants whose nomination papers were rejected. He sought audience with the EC chair in an attempt to get it to reverse the disqualification, but after the meeting on Monday, the PPP flag bearer said not much progress was made. In fact, the meeting was actually yesterday, Wednesday. Now, speaking on Joy FM Super Morning Show, Dr. Indung said he intends to forge ahead with his campaign regardless.
And all that we're trying to do is just, make our case, and let people know that indeed there's been selective administration of the laws.
In the event that you go to court and the EC's decision is upheld, what next? What would you do in that hypothetical situation?
Well, I'm someone who believes in the law. So should we go to court, and a court of law, says that we've heard you, but that the EC should go ahead and implement the decision that they have made. As I said, we'll go to whatever extent that it needs to go. So let's suppose we went to the highest court of the land, and they said, no, the EC's decision stands. We'll abide by it.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, we will continue to fight. We will continue to fight to make sure that the Electoral Commission is guided by its own laws, and it applies them consistently everywhere. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. And I want to tell our parliamentary candidates, starting this evening, I am campaigning. I'm going to be with them every step of the way. Whether I'm on the ballot or not, we have something wonderful to sell to the people of the Republic of Ghana. And we'll
According to him, at least 3 other flag bearer aspirants, including President Mahama and Nana Akufo-Addo, should be disqualified if the EC would apply the laws fairly.
All that we're trying to do is just, make our case, and let people know that indeed there's been selective administration of the laws. I'm someone who believes in the law. So should we go to court, and a court of law, says that we've heard you, but that the EC should go ahead and implement the decision that they have made. As I said, we'll go to whatever extent that it needs to go. So let's suppose we went to the highest court of the land, and they said, no, the EC's decision stands. We'll abide by it.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, we will continue to fight. We will continue to fight to make sure that the Electoral Commission is guided by its own laws, and it applies them consistently everywhere. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. And I want to tell our parliamentary candidates, starting this evening, I am campaigning. I'm going to be with them tomorrow. We're in the Volta region. We're going to Akachi. We're going to Keta. We're going to Aulon. We'll continue to campaign with enthusiasm and let people understand that something better, something bigger, bright ideas, and a more prosperous Ghana is coming through the Progressive People's Party. And let me just tell you, I want people to not forget that, number one, the EC has set rules on audited accounts, on expenditure returns, and that some parties chose to respond and comply, including the PPP. Others didn't, and they have not been disqualified. That there was a requirement to declare assets. Papakwesi Indung did. Others did not. And those who did not have been accepted. They've been accepted. That other people were told that they had some things to deal with, and were given the opportunity to satisfy the requirements after the nomination time came to a close, and they were given, if you will, special dispensation. Why did Papa Kwesi Indom not given that same opportunity?
Okay.
That's selective administration of the law. That is what we are against.
Well, the New Patriotic Party has been reacting to what the flag bearer of the PPP has had to say.
I have a lot of sympathy for Dr. Indom in this matter. The statement issued by me on behalf of the NPP, approved by our highest body, so indicates. At this juncture, I will respectfully ask Dr. Indom to major on the majors and not major on minors and ancillary issues that he is supposing. And I want to simply assure that the NPP, and I can of course only speak for the NPP, did fulfill all material conditions prior to satisfying the demands of the law and the demands of the Electoral Commission.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Okay.
In a related development, the Electoral Commission has justified the disqualification of the National Democratic Party's flag bearer, Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings. The former First Lady's lawyers, in a letter to the EC, had challenged the basis of the disqualification, asserting that it had no power to reject her nomination papers, threatening to go to court if she is not reinstated. The EC's lawyer, in a detailed response, however, explained it applied the rules and regulations governing elections in the country to arrive at its conclusion. The 11-page response stated, quote, "Our reading of the rules regulating the presidential elections confirms that the submission of nomination papers for the purpose of contesting the presidential elections confirms that the submission of the forms does not result in the automatic acceptance of such forms by our client." In another development, the Electoral Commission has discounted reports suggesting a number of parliamentary aspirants have been disqualified from contesting the elections this December. Reports were rife about 24 contestants in the Ashanti region had been eliminated. But the EC says this is not true. The Deputy Head of Communications, Yusuf Ayuba, tells Joy News no such decision has been taken. He blames the misinformation on an answer to a question posed at a news conference in Kumasi. The Ashanti Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, who answered the question, Srebo Kwaku, explains the aspirants in question failed to pay their nomination fees by the stipulated deadline.
We all know that we concluded the nomination process as far as the submission of the nomination forms on the 30th of September. But because of the problem with the deposit payment, we took the forms, received them, but we did not process them because we were waiting for the deposit to be paid. Then the commission said, after the court judgment, that they will not grant the injunction on the deposit, that they were given Monday to process the form. Then the commission sent out a list of political parties and their parliamentary candidates that they have paid. So we used that list to process. Then some few of the political parties did not pay through Accra. Then some of the independent candidates too did not continue the process. So as I speak, 24 of the candidates have not submitted their deposit. And because the districts and the region do not have the power to disqualify anybody, we have made our comments on the forms and sent them to Accra for Accra to know what is happening. So we cannot disqualify anybody at the district or the regional level. Once you have not paid the deposit, you cannot call yourself as a candidate. But everything will be determined by the commission at the head office. We have submitted the forms. made our comments on them. For now, I can't make any categorical statement because I don't have the power to say that, but I've sent them to Accra.
Watching Joy News Prime, we're taking a break, after which we'll bring you business news. Please stay tuned.
One, two, three, four. Who wants to enjoy the power of 4? Get busy 4G and enjoy the best internet experience. Would you like to be part of Ghana's most reliable 4G network? Yes! Then take this MiFi device and feel the power of busy 4G on your phone. Yes! And you, madam, would you like unlimited 4G access to WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, the news, Iroko TV, and unlimited night and weekend browsing? Yes! The power of 4 is available to us all. 1. Visit a busy store. 2. Get a busy MiFi device for 159 Ghana cedis and get 10 gigabyte preloaded data. 3. Choose 4 unlimited freebies from our 4 baskets of social, entertainment, leisure, and news. 4. Enjoy them for 4 super connected months. Now sing for the power of 4 from Busy 4G. 1, 2, 3, 4, get on with Busy 4G. Busy, making good things happen. 4G.
The Eastern Region MPP is taking on the police in the region over an alleged assault of some of its members, accusing the police of failing to bring the perpetrators to book. At a news conference at Suhum on Thursday, the party also accused the Chief of Staff and the Eastern Region NDC chairman of having a hand in a series of violent incidents in the constituency. In the latest incident involving the assault of the MPP loyal ladies, Eastern Regional MPP Chair Christine Akomen Kisi said the assailants used a vehicle driven by the Chief of Staff's brother.
The NDC tongue attacked the chief and elders of school in the palace during the preparation towards the Ugula festival on Tuesday, October 11th, 2016. This strategy of violence was alleged framed up over the weekend by Julius Debra, President Mohammed's Chief of Staff, who made a public declaration on the NDC campaign platform in Suhumli that I will not beat you, but if someone does, I will not come to your aid. This was corroborated by Usman Tewia Wati, NDC Eastern Regional Chairman, who told the children bars to the NDC campaign lunch that the 2016 election is a do or die affair. Just 2 days later, they unleashed their tanks on our loyal ladies who were embarking on a peaceful house-to-house campaign. This numerous complaint has been made by individuals, victims, and NPP.
He said the police have lost control of security in Suhum and is unable to protect members of the MPP. For which reason, the party will find ways to protect its members.
Chief Crime Officer DSP Daniel, by their inaction, appear to be carrying out the orders of the NDC. Sometimes the crime officer comes across as the solicitor for the NDC, raising defense for their actions. These notorious NDC towns have been identified as having been driven in the NDC branch white Mahindra pickup with registration number VR 4018/16. They are leaders. their leaders driver, Sami Banchi, who is alleged to be an NADMO payroll and one petit. Others are Mustafa, Baba Musa, and Malam, among others.
Now, I've been joined over the telephone line by ASP Ketia Yabwa, who's the Eastern Regional Police PRO. Good evening to you. Now, these allegations are quite serious. How true are they? Hello, good evening to you, sir.
Hello, good evening.
All right, so how do you respond to these allegations by the Eastern Region MPP?
Can they refresh my mind on that? I've heard some battle from the media.
All right. So it has to do with the assault, the alleged assault on some members of the loyal ladies of the MPP at Suhum. And they're saying that the MPP, Eastern Region MPP, is saying that the police tends to, shield the perpetrators of these violent acts and allows them to go scot-free.
Oh, okay. So it borders on what Jifa discussed with me earlier on.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, first of all, the first instance, the one concerning the EC's office, the case is before the court. This very morning, our legal, in charge legal, Subtenant Kofi Bagoji, went to Suhum because of the case. It was called at the Suhum Magistrate Court. It has been adjourned to 21st of this month. Two cases. One, organizers of a public event didn't inform police as is expected by public order act. The other one is involving two suspects, now accused persons, who went to EC's office to do unlawful acts and who have been put before the court. So these are two. The third one concerning the women who were
assaulted,
attacked. That case too is under investigation by the Suhum police. It's under investigation. Then also the alleged that the crime officer is also not performing as expected of them, and that there's a case that is before us at the regional headquarters whereby there was confrontation between him and the district secretary of the NPP. He has been directed to let the region investigate the case. Since the case is involved in, he is personally being accused or something of that sort, and he is also agreed that he has been the district secretary of the NPP has also committed criminal offense in discussing an issue with him. All these things are under investigation. What I would like to add is it's good that the regional executives have brought this to the public. This is not the first time, but unfortunately, a meeting that has been arranged between the Eastern Regional Election Security Task Force and the regional executives of the MPP hasn't been able to come on. We've been able, it's a general thing the task force is organizing in the region. We visit the headquarters of political parties. We've been able to, we started with TPP, we went to NDC, then CPP. We are left with the rest. The next would have been them, but last week they asked the machine to go to Accra for a meeting or a program rather a program that their national executives were organizing. I believe if we had met all these differences or grievances, rather grievances would have been looked at. So efforts are being made to meet them. Now it will be either Monday or Tuesday that the
all right.
Meeting will come.
Okay, thank you very much. You had the Eastern Region PRO of the Ghana Police Service. Now, Deputy National Organizer of the National Democratic Congress, Captain Joshua Hamidou Akamba, has taken a swipe at the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, saying he is unfit to lead the country. According to him, the NPP flag bearer failed to protect his party's manifesto from being stolen and wondered why such a person should be voted for as president. He called on Ghanaians to retain President Mahama at the presidency to continue his good works rather than gambling with the NPP. Captain Joshua Hamidou Akamba made a statement at the campaign launch of the Sisila East Member of Parliament, Alijata Jenti Sulemana, at Walembele in the Sisila East District.
The second-term bid campaign launch of the Sisala East Member of Parliament, Alijat Agbentie Suleimana, was attended by several big shots of the NDC, including parliamentarians and some traditional rulers. Alijata Suleimana said the NDC has done tremendously in all facets of the country's development, and it will only be prudent for Ghanaians to vote massively to retain President Mahama in government to continue his good works.
We have left a lot of marks in your community. Look at the mark we have left in your communities and vote for us. A vote for NDC is a vote for development. A vote for NDC is a vote for your community.
Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC, Captain Joshua Hamidou Akamba, took a jab at the MPP flag bearer, Nana Akufo-Addo, wondering whether he can protect Ghanaians when he cannot protect his own manifesto from allegedly being stolen.
It is only under Nanado that we have invisible forces. It is only under Nanado that we have bulldogs. And then after they finish writing their manifesto and locking it in the room, they claim the NDC stole it.
All right, so as expected, Aisha Ibrahim has showed up, and she's going to be telling us what's coming for Joy News Interactive. Good evening to you, Aisha.
Good evening to you, Israel. A lot of interesting stuff are coming up, so let's check them out. And the Progressive People's Party is accusing the Electoral Commission of selective application of the laws governing its operations, on which basis its flag bearer was disqualified from contesting this year's election. Question: do you agree with these claims?
He is right to have his own personal reasons. He's allowed to grieve about the issue.
Also, my golden question today: why do men shy away from reporting claims of sexual harassment from women? A school of thought believes this happens because men seem to believe there is a tendency of they being teased if they dare to report such incidents. Do you agree?
Their minds, they're not seeing it as harassment. They're just seeing it as a playful.
Really? Well, today is No Bra Day. And the question I ask, what do you know about the day? And are you in support of this day?
The whole essence of this No Bra Day is to create awareness of a disease called cancer.
Watch out for all your comments, suggestions, and ideas on the trending issues within the hour. I'll be back before you know.
All right, and I'll be back in just a few seconds with a headline. Stay tuned. Time now for a look at our top stories. The flag bearers of both the NDC and NPP have been campaigning in different constituencies in the Greater Accra region, with President Mahama urging Ghanaians to ignore promises by Nana Akufo-Addo to put money in their pockets. BPP flag bearer Papa Kwesi Indum vows to press on with his campaign to contest this year's presidential elections despite his disqualification by the EC. The Electoral Commission has meanwhile discounted reports it has disqualified a number of parliamentary aspirants. In business, Bank of Ghana finally introduces initiative to mitigate farmers' constraints in accessing funds for the development of agri. Now, despite delays in the delivery of some building materials, the Intako Hospital is expected to be completed on schedule. Workers at the project site in the Tyne district of the Brong-Ahafo region were feverishly working to meet the October deadline for partial opening when a team of journalists were conducted round. Nesta Kafuya-Juma went along for Joy News.
Maintenance department, power department and the main stores of the hospital have been roofed and ready for painting and equipment installation. Workers are yet to begin roofing the hospital's morgue, the administration and the pharmacy at the time of Joy News' visit. Our cameras capture these workers doing landscaping of the entire hospital, as well as working to get the walkways and drains ready for the October partial opening. Resident engineer at the Nsoko District Hospital, Mahmoud Omran, says most of the work has already been done with the extension of electricity and potable water to the hospital.
We have some challenge before about the material to site, but now already all the material on site. So we are working to do this partial opening on the time. The partial opening, we mean the administration buildings, outpatient department, and also the pharmacy will be ready. The main gate, the main entrance also will be ready.
Administrator of Eurojet, the Invest contractors of the project, Baba Anaba, said he is impressed with the extent of construction and expressed optimism that the project will be completed on schedule. Nesta Kafuya-Juma's report for Joy News.
And the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has finally elected Nana Edu Asare-Mensah as its presiding member, ending several months of stalemate. Being the only candidate in the election, he polled 100 yes votes out of 123 assembly members present. At least 22 members voted no, with one rejected vote. The election of Mr. Asare-Mensah as the presiding member comes after 6 attempts to elect the second most powerful person after the KMA chief executive resulted in confusion, infighting and disorder. We'll be back with entertainment news.